what was the reaction from your family? Like you said, as an island girl coming from that, when you say I'm going to go and I'm going to pursue acting, and it's not of the traditional what or road that you would want me to go down, but this is where my heart is. This is where my passion is. This is what I'm going to pursue. What was mom's like? What was her reaction?
When I finally got the guts to say to my mother that I was going to major in English literature and minor in theater, because at Rutgers, which was a historically male college, you had to major in what they said was a male subject. So that was English literature, and my minor was theater. When I told my mother I was going to study theater to be an actress, she said, with my hard earned money, you're going to take your time to spend your life with all of those fake and phony people? No, no, Jesus, no. And I was like, oh my God. But I tell you, Kevin, the best part of it all is I wouldn't have been happy being a doctor or a lawyer, but I'm so happy when I get paid to play one. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
so wonderful because when I redid my mother's house, she said, Jesus, this show business thing is not so bad after all. I said, yes, mommy, yes.
I mean, listen, it's not about I guess you said, what is it called? It's like, eventually they all come around and support the talent and the choice that you make in doing what you want to do with your talent.
No, I think what happens is your immigrant mother comes around to the fact that you can make money. That's what they
Yes.
like. That's the
Yes.
success right there. It's like, Lord God, you see that? That's my baby right there. She make the money and she be rebuild the house, right? Yeah, that's it.
But listen, that's the ultimately that it makes sense. I mean, was that one of your proudest? Like, would you say one of your proudest moments when you were able to go and provide for your mom and do something of that magnitude?
I think we all want to do that, no matter how successful our parents may be. We want to be able to do better for them and show them that I'm going to make you proud, and let me show you how I can make you proud. Oh yeah, and she was
I
so
love that.
happy with it. She was so happy with it.
And I mean, of course, through the years, she's probably become like your biggest fan. I can only imagine,
Oh my
like with the
God.
success.
Oh, absolutely. A far cry from Dreamgirls. You know, when I got nominated for the Tony for the original company of Dreamgirls on Broadway, my mother refused to come to the Tony Awards. She said, I'm not going. No. Huh, you actress. You're just playing around.
Wow.
My dad
Wow.
said, my dad said, Cheryl, you came into this world with your mother, but you will more than likely die alone, and you better be happy with the choices that you have made for
Wow.
yourself. And that
Wow.
was really a liberating moment for me. And somehow, soon after that, my mother decided, oh, she was coming to the ceremony. Yeah, she
Wow.
sat behind us, but she was there.
That's what I love that I love the full circle moments. You know what I mean, and I like that there's a story, of course, attached to it. Let's get into the Dreamgirls play for a second. I mean, because of course, going into it, you had no idea that would become what it was, right? And the
No,
success that it started to happen, right?
I'd
So like,
honestly say, Kevin, when I started working on Dreamgirls, we went through so much before it became the musical that it ended up being. But there was a point when we were at our lowest, and I just was praying. I was like, please, God, please let somebody walk in here to see. We're going to make history. This is important. And then a big music producer came in. I won't mention his name, but he came and he sat there, and I was like, this is it. He's going to get it. Anyway, he walked out. He said he didn't get it. And we were down again. And then things just turned around. The money came in. David Geffen, he believed, and he ended up putting more of his money into the show. And the rest is history. And we became exactly what I thought. I had no idea, though, it would be as huge as it had become. Because if I'd known that, I'd have never sold my rights for $1.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, listen, you gotta think the success that had is insane. I mean, let's just talk about the people that were also casted back then in the play with you. Those relationships. I mean,
Ah,
you can go down the list. Can you go down the list of the cast that was a part of Dreamgirls back in the day?
Loretta Devine,
Mm-hmm.
my friend to this day. Jennifer Holliday, we still talk to this day. She talks more with my kids than to me, but talking with her to this day. Ben Harney, Cleavant Derricks, Vondi Curtis Hall. I mean, so many people. When I think about it, all of us have gone on to really, really carve out a true craft, carve out our craft and have a solid career in this industry. And that is something that does not happen very often. It just doesn't. People usually have one big hit and, that's it. You don't hear from
Mm-hmm.
them again. It's over.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They've had their moment, but we've each been able to have quite a career in this industry, which I'm so thankful to God for.
How did you feel about the movie when they made the decision to do the movie and highlight the success of the Dreamgirls, and just like really pay homage? What was your take on just the way it was done, the story,
I was
just the
heartbroken. I was
why? Tell me why.
I was heartbroken because a decision was made somehow not to include the originals in the
Hmm.
film. There were absolutely spaces to put us in, but they
Hmm.
chose not to put us in, and I
Did
never
Loretta
could.
have a small? I thought Loretta had a small. Didn't she have like a small role or something like that that she did in there or cameo?
Loretta did, Jennifer did not, I did not, and
Okay,
so
got it.
that was that. So I was so disappointed. I was disappointed for a long time around that. I also thought it was interesting. Very often, people veer away from things that are important or intrinsic to the storyline, such
Hmm.
as when you look at the original Dreams, they're all dark skinned girls.
Hmm.
Why were they all dark skinned girls? Because at that time, R&B right in the background. If you were black, darker than a brown paper bag, the
Hmm.
brown paper bag test. If you were darker
Hmm.
than that bag, then you were just too dark. And part of the story was the fact that these black girls from that time were so talented, no matter what color, no matter what shade they were going to make it because America was going to love them. The world was going to love them. It is not until the second act where you see the light skinned girl come in when they're going more commercial, where
Hmm.
they're crossing over. And that
Hmm.
was to stay with the facts and the history of the time. And when you have other people, whiter people, come in who don't understand the history, they just think it's just a show, just about some girls. But no, it's about soul. It's about our heart, our music, our drive, our overcoming, and our
I
falling in
never.
love.